Okay, everyone heard that. We're good, right? All right, thank you everybody for joining me this morning. Today is Morphology Games. We are going to play games, discuss why games are helpful and how we can use it, and then look at how we can make games. All right, let's get started. Very simplistically, I love games, and I remember as a child, my brother and I were always top of our classes, and but he was always just that much better and faster than I was in math. And I'd say to my brother, how is it that you're always faster and better at math than I? We And he'd say, well, do you remember that summer in 4th grade? It's like, no, what happened in 4th grade? He says, I spent the whole summer playing darts, and that gaming, just the process of gaming, he became so fast at, you know how you would double, triple, add it on, da 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 da, as you're playing darts. He became so fast at that because he did it during games. And that didn't help just his 4th grade year. It helped him all the way through college, that he was always that much, just that little bit faster. I mean, I was good too, but he was that much better. But that was my first thought. This was back when I was in college, and I'm like, oh, gaming helped. And as I've taught, I've always realized that when I introduce a game, the kids' excitement goes up, and the barriers come down. And the anxiety that our children feel about learning in school and reading and blah, 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 that anxiety melts more. It doesn't always go away, but it melts. So I love games. So I would always bring out games. And then working with difficult children, anytime someone's having a really rough day and their behaviors are wrong, that, you know, they're just making poor choices, I'd say, okay, you know what, you can sit out if you don't want to participate in the class, and I'll ask you if you want to join later. And then very quickly, for some reason, the lesson plan would change, and the next activity would be a game, and then my student would want to participate. It's like, oh, okay, I'll play. I said, oh, are you ready to participate in the class? Great. And we would play games. So I've always loved games, and I've always had physical games, and now a lot of them are virtual. So for morphology, and I'm going to center my talking today on morphology because I've seen a lot of questions about morphology. I truly believe in explicit instruction. I've been an OG teacher for a million years. I know the value of explicit instruction. I also see the value of just low stress introduction, low stress review, getting people to hear the terminology and to play with language in a way that's not the, you're expected to learn this now, and we're going to have a test on this on Friday, and you know, that type of stress. So bringing in the games kind of just reduces the stress level and allows it to be not just explicit instruction, but a lot of just general exposure. And the more you're exposed to something, eventually it goes into your brain, right? We see this with kids. So I do believe in explicit instruction, but I also believe in allowing for there to be just playful exposure, and that it's beneficial. So I'm going to start with some very low level skills type games, and I'm going to ask for volunteers. One of the things I would do in my classroom and then privately is I would set up bingo boards. Here we go. I've used bingobaker for a million years, and I've used it for free for a million years, and then I eventually paid for an account. The difference is in the account, I can save all of my boards under my name, but you don't have to. You can do it for free, and your boards will stay there. You just have to search for the words, or you keep a link to it. But in bingobaker, I would do things like, you know, we're going to play around with suffixes, and I'm going to invite some of you. So we're going to play online, and I would generate a card like this, okay? But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to send this link. Oops, sorry. copy this link and send it to you in the chat. And I would like, this is actually one that everyone can have their own board. So everyone can do this, but you won't see what's going on if you go to the board, but that's okay. Everyone can have their own board if you'd like. So you click on the link, and if you know how to split screens, you can watch and, you know, have both going. Okay. Do I have people in their own board? Now, I don't see what you're doing. This is what I would do. I would print these out and give this to my class. I would, or virtually, I would just send them the link. Okay. If I've been studying some words, I might do from a word list to the board. So I have a list of words in another tab. I can't find it. I'm just going to call out words. Okay. I'm thinking of a word that means you are so full of help. You're always helping me every time I ask for help. Can anyone think of what that word might be? Go ahead and call it out. Go.
Oh.
Excellent. Do you see the suffix that you used in that word? Mark it, please, on your board. Yay, good job. Can anyone else, so Nina marked the full for helpful. Can anyone else think of another word that uses that same suffix? Go ahead, call it out. And if you're in a quiet environment, just leave yourself unmuted.
Helper.
I'm sorry, I didn't say that. Could anyone else think of a word that uses the same suffix? Nina said she was helpful, which she is. Can anyone else think of another word using that suffix?
Hopeful.
She said helpful. Anyone else?
Hopeful.
Cheerful.
Hopeful. Excellent. What was the other one?
Cheerful.
Excellent. Mark your full. Now, Nina had said she was helpful. Can anyone else who has not marked, can you think of another suffix you could add to the base help? Excellent. Say the word and use it in a sentence.
Helper. I have a wonderful helper today in the kitchen.
Excellent. Mark that suffix. She used the suffix "er" that means the person who does it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, that reminds me of something. Has another meaning. It also means more. Can someone think of a word that uses the suffix more or to mean more? Go ahead, call it out.
Smarter.
Excellent. And that means more smart. And that's you, because you've been doing so well and working so hard. Mark that word. Anyone else with the word using to mean more?
Bigger.
Excellent. Mark your word. Anyway, I will play like this. I'll throw out a word, throw out a clue, go on. Let's see. I'm thinking of a word. It is a noun. It means it is a person, place, thing, or an idea. So I'm thinking of an idea, an abstract noun. And it means if I do in math class, if I am adding a bunch of numbers, we are practicing, what's that word?
Addition.
Excellent. Mark it down. That is the suffix -ion, and it gets added on, and we have addition. Can anyone else think of another word that uses that same suffix? It makes it a concept noun.
Subtraction.
Excellent. Excellent. And we take the word subtract and we make it into the noun subtraction. And in addition, we often take the verb. So we take the verb add and make it into addition. Very good. Now you said subtraction. Oh my goodness. I heard a prefix sub that means under. Can we think of a word that uses the prefix sub and uses one of these suffixes?
Suboptimal.
Oh my goodness, that was amazing. That means under the optimal position. What suffix did you use?
Al. A-L.
Excellent. Mark it. Anyone else? Go ahead.
Subtracted.
Excellent. What suffix did you use?
ED.
Perfect. Mark it. Okay. So I would play it something like this. I'm coming up with words, coming up with clues, trying to support vocabulary, getting them to be aware of suffixes or ending syllables. I might do this. Anyone have any questions on this process? Okay, I'm going to send you another link.
Super fun, Emily, super fun.
I'm so glad. Okay, I'm giving you another link to a different way of playing a bingo board. So this is if we have been working on a list. Did you get it? It has Audi spec port. So I might work with just the affixes, or I might work with my individual words that we've been working on. Did everyone get that? Are we okay?
It
Yes?
looks like I got your preview, not.
Oh, I'm so
Same.
sorry.
Yeah.
If you press on the link, it'll open up the actual card. It underneath in the instructions, in the preview, you'll see a link.
bingobaker, is that the same thing? Sorry, I might have hit the wrong one. I sent it again.
Mhm.
Okay, are we good?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so if I'm working with words, I might do it the reverse then. I'm thinking of a word that is a noun. Let's just start general. I'm thinking of a noun. Can someone find a noun for me? Remember, nouns name persons, places, things, and ideas. Someone find a noun.
Inspector.
Excellent. What was the suffix on inspector? Oh, I'm sorry. I gave everyone my own card. I apologize. I did the wrong thing. Let me back up. But we can see that as, actually, go ahead. We'll just mark them on my card. So that is something in bingobaker. If I get the actual link and send it to my student and I can work collaboratively on one board. But if I send that copy the link to thing, and then everyone gets their own board, and everyone's board is different, and we play until we get a bingo. Okay, what was the word you said? Someone?
Inspector.
Inspector. I'm going to mark it on my side so people can see it, but you're marking it on yours. Good. What was the suffix in that word?
Or
It means a person who does it. What is the root? Can anyone tell me the root?
Inspect.
And it means to see. Can you find another word that uses the same root, which means to see? S-P-E-C.
retrospective.
Excellent. Oh my goodness. And that word retro means back. So that's when you look back. What part of speech is this? If this is something I've been teaching in my class, I would include that.
Prefix.
Sorry, what part of speech is retrospective?
Adjective.
It is. Do you see the suffix IVE? Most IVE suffixes are adjectives. Okay, and that's a clue that that's how we are behaving in a retrospective manner, looking back to look back on our life. Very good. Can we find another word that uses that same suffix, that iv suffix? Someone find it?
Perspective.
Say it again.
Perspective.
And I'm trying to find it on mine. Okay, here we go. And do we agree? Is that an adjective? Perspective? That one
It can also be
actually,
a noun.
that's right. Good thinking. That one is. So we see that IVEs are generally adjectives, but not always. But so we can have that. We can have a good perspective on life, to look around and see what's happening. Very good. I'm thinking of a word. Let's start over. I'm thinking of a word that uses the root that means to carry. Someone find a word with the root that means to carry. And if I'm
Report.
playing in class, I might have each of the kids find a different word. Go ahead.
Deport.
And what does that mean?
To move, to carry, to move something from one place to another, or to make it leave.
Okay, D, right. So here we go. Deport. So it's away or from, to carry away. Good. Anyone else?
Portage.
Excellent. Now, portage is not a word that a lot of people know, but it means to carry. It's where you have to, when you're taking a kayak or a canoe trip or rafting trip, and you have to get out and carry. For us in Hawaii, we have kayaks, but when you have to carry your kayak, that's called portage. And we use it in other places too. But it means to carry. Anyone else find another one?
Transportation.
Excellent. What's the prefix there?
Trans.
And that means across. Very good. So in transportation, you are carrying things across from one place to another. Is this a noun or a verb?
Noun.
Excellent. What's your clue that it's a noun? What's a clue for everybody?
Tion.
Excellent job. Those ION suffixes are nouns. They are the abstract nouns. It's the concept of carrying things across from one place to another. And we can go on and support vocabulary. We can support the affixes, and we play. And what I do is I keep a list. I keep a running list of vocabulary words that we've been working on, and I keep it in a Google sheet. And I would take the last, 25 words and pop it in. And every week I've got a new bingo game that we're playing on. And it's just, if we have 3 minutes at the end of class or after a quiz or whatever, we pull out and we have a very quick game that we can play and read the words and play until someone's got bingo, or on and on. And I'm going to just keep coming up with clues that support the vocabulary, support the connection between the morphemes and the meanings and in that particular word, and get them to see it, because as our, especially dyslexic kids, the more that they can see the parts, that awareness of the parts, the better they're able to read it. We know that most of our kids who struggle to read will look at the first 2 or 3 letters and guess the rest of the word and don't read through the whole word. So by really giving them focus on these parts, it helps them to make their way through the rest of the word. I've had, I have one student who, a 15-year-old, was reading at a 1st grade level, and it seems like if you're reading at a 1st grade level, we should be sticking to the CVCCs, CCVCs, and those very beginning words to give him fluency, proficiency in reading that. But my strategy is, he's 15. So I'm going to teach him to read each of those parts. And then we put the parts together. So now he is working in all these Latin affix words, and it's reading all of these. So in his reading, if I do a reading level assessment, he went from 1st grade to 5th grade in 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's incredible.
yeah. So because if you can read ab, that's a closed syllable. If you can read rupt, it's a closed syllable. And then if I teach the TI saying sh and ON, shun, so, and then all of this opens up. All of it opens up, right? So it's actually easier to read the Latin affix words than it is to read a lot of our Anglo-Saxon words. But giving them the support in reading the word parts, the morphemes and the ending suffixes and syllables that we have to deal with. Okay, so this is the way I would do bingo games. And like I said, I've printed these out, played them in class. I print out like the suffixes one, and everyone has that in a, what do you call it? A sheet protector, and they just mark that. And we can use, if I do suffixes, we can do that for any level of words. I'm just going to pull in the vocabulary that we've been working on to play on the suffix board. So that stays with them all the time. And then this word specific ones change every week or so. Does that make sense? Anyone have any questions on that? The next thing, oh, and let me just, somebody's had this list of words. So this is what I would do, is I would use a Google Sheet and just drop the list of words in. And then every week I'm going to add more, whatever. And then I take the last so many and copy it over into bingobaker. One of the other easy ones I do is flippity. Flippity does not work well for a group. It works well for individuals. Flippity, and I've done this in person, but flippity allows, they have many games. I like the matching games because if I'm going to play a game, I want to be teaching at the same time. So I'm going to invite one person who has not spoken and would like to. Anyone? Jennifer, are you here? Do you want to do this?
Sure.
Okay, Jennifer, I'm giving you remote control. When I'm tutoring online, I do not give remote control very often. But I have other ways of working around that. But I'm going to demonstrate it because that's the easiest way for now. So Jennifer, you and I are going to play memory, and we are working on suffixes. So go ahead and choose 2 cards, please.
Oh, look at that. I can. All right.
Okay, can you say those suffixes and say words that contain them?
NESS, kindness, and LESS, selfless.
Excellent job. So I'm going to always ask for words. So I want them to always connect this to words. And now kindness, you take the adjective kind and you've made a noun, the concept of kind. And what does less mean, Jennifer?
Without.
Good. So what is the meaning of the word you gave me?
Selfless is not thinking about yourself.
Excellent job. That was not a match. And in this, I don't care how many mistakes they made, but it does give me a good clue as to their memory if I'm dealing with a student with memory issues. Okay, I've got the suffix "iv." We often see it with the tiv, like native or supportive, and they are generally adjectives. And I have the suffix "us," and sometimes we see it with the ci, and that's what messes up a lot of my kids. So precious and delicious, but we see the "us" in joyous and many other words. Not a match. Okay, go again.
ESTEN.
Can you give me some words, please?
EST, brightest.
Excellent. I mean, the most bright.
EN, golden.
Excellent. Meaning made of gold. Excellent job. So as we play this, I'm going to take back my turn. Where was it? Where was it? Oh my goodness. I don't remember. It's amazing how many things I don't remember, right? Because the more I don't remember, the more my students have the chance to say it themselves. I think it's about here. Wasn't it about here? Oh, it was there. Actually, I thought it was this one. Hoping to get it wrong, and I got it. Oh, that's embarrassing. Okay. Less meaning without. So hopeless. Oh, I am hopeless sometimes. No, we're never hopeless, right? And homeless, and that makes me very sad. Okay, so I have one, and I would just keep a score here. I'm sorry, I was trying to demonstrate that I usually miss so that my students get a chance, and obviously my memory is not what it should be. Meant. Did we see this yet? So this one is, if I take a verb like argue, then we have an argument. That's a noun, something we have. And the an can be the person who does it. And the tricky part is it sounds like shun, like the other shuns when it's with the ci, like a musician. But the an always means the person who. Okay. And we go on and we play, and every time we think that, okay, I think it's this one, I'm going to try to elicit a different word. So we're going to keep pulling in more words that use those suffixes so that we're always hearing them in more and more words. And if my student can't think of one, I'll give them a hint. Jennifer, go again. You obviously know these, so I'm not going to be giving you many hints, right?
Darn it.
Okay, some words, please.
Musician
Uh-huh.
and olden rather than
Okay.
golden.
Okay. Okay. The en can be made of, but it can
Mhm.
also mean to make.
Mm.
So if I want to make my room dark, what would I do?
Darken.
Good. And the an can also be, it's not just with the shun. Can you think of a how about a proper noun that names a person from a specific country? What country can we use and get a person from that country using the an?
Good question.
I live in America.
American.
Oh,
American.
American. Oh, we're just looking at the an.
Yeah, sorry, just the an.
Oh,
So
oh,
this
oh,
the
oh.
an can mean a person who, it tricks kids up, right? Because they hear
Mhm.
shun and they want to spell it Tion. So I want them to hear that
Okay.
shun ending, that, but if it means a person, we spell it with the an,
Got it.
and it's usually, the person who does magic is a magician, and
Mhm.
person who works with electric things and just an electrician, whatnot. So anyway, we play flippity memory games, and trying to just support vocabulary, support recognition of the suffixes. And I might throw some in there that we've not taught, and I will teach it in just the slow threshold manner. It's like, you know what? I don't care that you know it. I'm going to teach it. I'm going to say it 800 times because we're going to miss it 800 times. And by the time we've played this a couple of times, you've got these. And I didn't have to have a specific lesson on that suffix, right? So now, because we've played the game, when you see it in words, you're more likely to recognize it. Does that make sense? Anyone have any questions? I'm going to come out of this. Any questions on this? No? Okay, so I use bingobaker a lot. I use flippity. Flippity has, and I will show you if I where here we go. I will show you their website. They have all sorts of things you can do. It's all based on you inputting the words or information in a spreadsheet, and they take that spreadsheet and make, games. I like the matching cards. I've got the board games. I actually like my own board games better. I use the manipulatives if we're doing sorts, but today we're talking about morphology games. So I use the matching game.
Is
And
Flippity like WordWall? Like, does it have community games that
No.
you can tap into?
no,
Yeah.
no, but it's super easy to make a game. It's super
Okay.
easy. And
What do you think about the flippity bingo, Emily?
I've used it. I feel like I do better with the bingobaker.
Okay.
And I don't remember all the reasons why. I know with bingobaker, I can access everybody else's games. I can do a search like Wonders Grade 2, Wonders Grade 2 Unit 1 or whatever, and someone's made a game. I can do that, although it takes me almost no time at all to make a game. I just take my word list, pop it in there, and I'll show how I do that in bingobaker, but it's super, super, super fast. And I think when I purchased their lifetime membership so that I can have all my games under my account, it was $10. I think it's up to $25 now, but it's a lifetime. And I've used it. I used it for years for free. And I thought, okay, I should support this company because I've used them so much. But you can search. You can search anything in bingobaker and find something someone else has made. You can edit it to make it your own. You can save your games if you keep the links in like a Word doc, or a doc that you save the link and say, this is my game on blah, 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 and put the link in there. Even if you don't pay for their accounts, which is what I did for years. Okay. So we'll look at making the games in a bit, but I want to keep playing.
Emily, can you show us the card games?
Emily, you're on mute.
Anyway,
Just-
I will very quickly get into the card games. That's what I'm going to do next, but I want to show you my organization so you can see why it becomes easy to then take one set of words and put it into Flippity, put it into bingobaker, put it into my card decks. So whatever list I'm working with, I use that to put it anywhere I like, anywhere I like. So this is Google Sheets. And just as a very quick, in the chat very quickly, could you pop in the chat if you have any familiarity with Google Sheets? Not slides, but sheets. Okay, so I have one pretty much clueless and most people are yes, not much. Okay. And then speaking about remote control, if your student is using an iPad, they can tap so they can play the memory games because you can tap on an iPad. You cannot give remote control for them to drag, which the card games that we're going into in just a minute. iPads, everything works perfectly. Okay. I personally very rarely give remote control to a student because I have students who are malicious and have no impulse control, and before I blink, they've shut all my browsers and done all sorts of crazy things. So I very rarely give remote control. So that's why I've developed most of the games in a way that I don't give remote control. But just as my organization, I keep a list of bases that I'm teaching, and I keep a list of words using that base. And so this is, Google Sheets, you usually get those teeny tiny cells. I just type my words in, and then I make my cells really big, and then it becomes like a flashcard, and I just flip through if we want to, and read the words. And I have it organized, and I can make a copy for each student if I want to change it up, drop some words for the student, whatnot. But by making the cells large, I now have my flashcards. If I want to just do a quick review this way, or if I want them to, like someone, okay, if someone would annotate, let's see. Christine, are you there? Would you annotate, please, and indicate the prefix and the suffix on this word by annotating? I can have my students annotate when it's this size, and they can split the words, they can mark vowels, they can do whatever I ask them to do.
Okay, I would do this, but I'm not sure how to. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see.
Okay, I'm sorry. Anyone who
So
is
here
familiar
is-
with annotating?
There's the base
Okay.
stuffed, and here is the. Let me see. I think this is the assimilated prefix, right?
Yes. So COR is like CON, COL.
And then the suffix is ION.
Perfect. And it goes with the T from rup to make shun. Okay, so
Correct.
I can have them annotate right on it this size, and it makes it big. But what's nice is I can then copy this whole list and stick it into my bingo game, or copy the whole list and stick it into my flippity. Okay, and I can copy the whole list and we'll put it into a card game.
So Emily, I'm not familiar with Google Sheets, but I am going to be taking a workshop on Wednesday, coincidentally. So, and I've always wanted my students to be able to annotate, and I guess this is the best way that they can do that, right? I want them to be able to highlight and.
I'm using Zoom, so Zoom has annotation.
Okay.
So
I guess they can annotate on anything, right? As long as
in Zoom you can.
Okay.
In Google Meets, no.
Okay.
Is that correct?
If they have a Chromebook.
And Chromebooks do not annotate, correct. So this is why I often go into a collaborative document, So if this was a student that was on a Chrome, I might share the document and say, okay, here we go. In a shared document, I'd have my student actually go in and edit this. So,
Okay.
okay, and there we go. That's my prefix. That's my my base, my root. We can work collaboratively.
I just taught this word the other day, and you tell me how many 7th grade kids with a classification of specific learning disability would ever learn the word adjudicate if you were not teaching morphology. I mean, it is so awesome because I'm 53 and I just learned what that word meant a few years ago because my kids are in marching band.
Oh,
And
that's
they-
it. Or choir. That's where we learn it, right?
And now my 7th grade kids know the word adjudicate. It's like ridiculous. I'm so proud.
Right, right. Okay, so if I'm working with a student with a Chromebook, I share my document. We work within the document if I wanted that. But okay, let's go on to the games. What I do, and I use Bubble Up. And I've used Wakelet, but I've been using Bubble Up, and I don't know if you're familiar with Bubble Up. It is a curation. It's like Pinterest, where you put it. It's for curating things, right? So I put all of my games and game backups in one Bubble Up, and I keep my links there. So I'm just going to show you that very quickly, because for me, it helps me see what I've got. It's easier to see it like this. Okay, so I have a bunch of games here. These are the links to games I have. We're going to start with, just so you can see the difference, we're going to start with what it looks like in memory. There we go. So in Playing Cards IO, and I have to tell you, Playing Cards IO is a little bit finicky. It's not made for education. It's made for people who are doing virtual gaming, and you play card games. And they have it set up. So they've got, I don't know, a dozen different games, maybe more, that you can play. You can play poker, you can play whatever, rummy, you can play. So they've set up card rooms and you can do it. Well, I don't want their rooms, so I make my own. But what happens is I can share this, and I'm going to just ask for 4 people. I'm going to copy this link, send it to, I'm just going to put it in the chat. And I'm going to ask for 4 people to, I'm not going to join me. And let me see on my list of participants. Let's see. Tell me if you want to join, please. 4 people, say your names. And
I'll join Diane.
okay, Diane's joining. 3 more.
Rita.
Catherine,
Go ahead.
Catherine Tronrid.
Okay, so 4 of you come in with, or 3, yeah, we can have 4 of you. Now, can you see, go ahead and move your cursor around. Can
Yeah.
you see, if you're not, that all of us are in this one room and all of us are able to play collaboratively? So to move the cards, so this is just memory, and I've got it set up here, and I'm going to say, whoever's got, I think it was Diane, go ahead and turn over 2 cards, and I would place the bingo the same way. You know, tell me the suffix, tell me where that uses it, what's the meaning. You didn't make a match, turn it back over and go to the next person. It's not as automatic to set up as flippity, but we are actually working and I don't have to use remote control. Okay.
Mhm.
And then if you win, you grab your cards and you stick it in your winning spot. Okay. So everyone who's in, just go ahead and turn over a card so you can see that you can do that. Okay, and now if you made that match, go ahead and take it and put it to your spot. There we go. So in a group, I have to tell the kids, you know, you're first. Okay, now it's your turn, and I keep track of whose turn it is if we're doing
Oh.
this.
Look at that.
Look at that, you made a match. Okay, so we would play a memory game like this. All right, we're coming out of this. Now, here's my deal. Once I invite a kid in, the kid can mess things up. I tell my students, you can go to the full screen, which is the bottom square, to make it larger. Please do not touch anything else. If I find out that you're touching anything else, you're not invited back. The briefcase is the edit. So once someone is in, they can entirely mess it up. They can get rid of cards. They can do all sorts of crazy things. They can change what's on the card. So the next time you see it, you have horrible things written on the card. When I have a group or when I have students that may do that, I duplicate the room, use it for that day, delete the room. Okay, because we know there are students who will do that. And so to protect that I don't have things in my card game that I don't want there, I duplicate the room, play it, delete the room. So that would be, if you're watching this, you can see me do this up in the edit table. I go to the edit table icon and there are room options. I can name my room. I can copy the room, which is what I do. And then I use the copy for that day. And then when I'm done, I delete the room here. Okay. But I trust that none of you are going to do this. I didn't do that today. So please.
Question.
Yes.
So can we make it so that like there's suffixes and then root words?
I will show you another game.
And so that they could like match the root word and the suffix and have to read it and still have it be a match?
Okay. That is one of the games. We can play that next. That's actually a higher level game that I have. I call it my, I think I call it Build a Word. I don't remember what I named it. Here we go. I'm going to send this link and I would like maybe 6 people can join in. Just say your names if you're joining in on this one.
Nina. Lisa.
Okay, if you're in, come over here to one of the spaces where it says student, right click on it. I apologize. I made it so that I couldn't do that. Let me change that right now. I'm going to do an edit and I say player can edit. Player can edit. Okay. Okay, so go to one of the where it says student 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Click on it and change the name to your name. Now, when I do this game in person, I have my prefixes in one color, my roots in another, my suffixes in another color. I can't do that here. Oh, let's not take the cards yet. Don't take the cards. I'm going to explain the way I play the game first. But did you put your name on it? Catherine, Nina, I think Lisa. So, okay. All right. So what we're going to do is, let's see. Chris, you're going to be first. You're going to try to form a word. Don't take the card away. Put it back, please. No hiding the cards on me. Okay, you're going to try.
Wild.
You're going to. It's Chris's turn. Everyone else, hands up. Chris, you're going to try to find a word. Build a word using these parts. You can put it down into this spot here. We would like to find a word. The more spots you have, you know, the more prefixes and suffixes you add on to it, the more cards you collect. And go ahead and say it out loud. And if you have to tell me that you're adding a connective, go ahead. Or if you're using an alternate spelling, go ahead. Oh, she made, oh, nice. Nice job. Say your word.
Prediction.
Excellent. Excellent. Take your 3 cards, put it into your winnings. Okay. And now I'm going to fill these again. And Nina, go for it. And Catherine, you'll be next.
Propulsion. Is there a propulse?
Well, propulse is a word by itself, but I know you want to
I know I wanted to make 3.
This is why when I do it in person and I have my prefixes, suffixes, and roots in different colored cards, it makes it easier to see.
Uh-huh.
I just want to put 1 more.
Okay, so here's the problem is that, does anyone see any suffixes? Guess what? I don't even see a suffix. We're only going to have to go with 2 cards. Sorry.
Okay, not a problem. I'm just so loving this. This is so cool.
Okay,
I'm glad it's not me. I was thinking, what?
Okay, so this is why I like to have different colors.
Mm-hmm.
Commit.
And where did you say you make the different colors?
When I do it in person, when I'm making card decks in person.
Okay.
But and actually, Chris, the way I play it is if you use 3 or more, I give you a token.
Oh.
And what happens is that if you want to change out, you can redeem your token to change out. Like if there's 3 of the same roots and you don't want that and you're hoping to get some more suffixes, you would do that. Okay, so we would just go around, play, make words, and let's see, did we even get any? I still don't see a suffix. Okay, so I have I don't have just X. Okay, so I'm going to just make erupt. And here I don't need the X, I just go with erupt. And if you take put it one on top of the other and grab the numbers, they move at the same time. And we go around and make words.
Emily, there's a way to make the text be different colors. So you could have 3 different colors of text in the same game.
Yes.
But
because I pull them in a CSV, I don't think I can. If I wrote them in separately, I can.
Okay. I play playing cards a lot and have multiple ones that have different colors text, but I don't normally use the
CSV.
Yes.
You know what? I should probably rewrite this without the CSV and just write it in, and then you can use that. So who was that saying they use it a lot?
Janice.
Janice. Okay, thank you.
Emily, do you have a suggestion of resources that has like lists of prefixes, roots, suffixes?
You know, I've just Googled and I've got a bunch of them where, you know, best or most commonly used, and Scholastic, everyone puts out a list, and I've collected a few of them, but I just go from one of the lists and then I take a look at the words. Like I go with the most common roots to teach, and I might start there. But then if my student has like I have a student who likes to build things, so of course I pulled struct in even before I pulled in a lot of other things, because that was his interest. So that was trying to get him into the idea that, hey, once you know this part, look at it on all these other words. So I might change up orders and things just depending on the kids. But then I might take the list of the words that we've been looking at and just put in the prefix suffixes for those words, because I know we've been experiencing those and become familiar with them. And we'll see them in other words. Okay, so I might play this. I would play it in person, but Janice, you said it was.
Yes.
Thank you. I might go ahead and redo it and do it as not a CSV.
Here's another idea. If you want to not redo it, if you go into edit mode and you add another line of text somewhere like in the bottom corner or something,
For the
you
prefixes.
can, yeah, you can make that be different colors and write, you know, prefix for one or just a P even.
Yeah.
And suffix, you know, S, and those can be different colors and just be in the little corner or something to, that's just another option.
Thank you. Okay, so this is one game. Let me go back and we're going to go through a bunch of different games. We are going to play. We're going to play Uno. So if you were in the Latin one, would you please come out of that now? And we're going to.
Do you sell any of these? Do you have a store or anything?
Oh, I forgot to say. So if you would write to me, tell me which game you want. I will send you one room backup for free. If you want the whole thing of my games, just send me something and I will give you a link for all the room backups.
You don't have like a set price?
I haven't done it yet, and I'm really hesitant to do that because I don't control playing cards, and if they change things up, you know, I feel bad. So I'm working through that. You know, it's like, okay, well, how do I feel about doing that? And then I can't control if I mean, I can try to keep what I have up to date, but
what about the bubble up where you store everything, your bubble up? Where do you like, did that have more than playing cards?
Oh, I've got tons of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. You need to start a store.
I do have some products on TPT. I have like my blending app. I have some blending slides. I have some things on TPT.
You need to get busy.
I'm busy.
I bought some of your blending things and they are awesome.
I'm so glad. Who said that?
Janice.
Janice, thank you. Thank you. So yeah,
I agree with Amy. I think people like us would like to be able to go on to TPT, buy an Uno game, like here's my $10, thank you for your Uno game, and then I play it.
Well, you know
Absolutely.
what? Okay, you don't have to pay me $10. I mean,
I'll
okay,
have
so
to pay you $5, but no, seriously, like we don't have the creativity to do this. You do.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna play Uno, and
Emily, it's Heather. I have to leave. I have another appointment. This has been fabulous, and I'm assuming the full thing will be put up somewhere for viewing down the road.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Okay, I put out a Uno game, and could I have, I don't know how many people are still here. They're still, can I have some of you come in and play Uno? I just have it set up for 2 of us. Actually, just have one person right now so that everyone else can see, but I can play this with 3 or 4. I don't like doing it for more than that because as one student is waiting, you know how it is. Attentions wane. So could I have one person who's here that would like to join me?
I will.
Okay. So whoever said that, please join me in this games and everyone else can watch. Okay, this is the real beauty of playing cards IO, is that when you have a game where you hold cards in your hand, you can't do that virtually and everyone sees your cards. Like I've tried to put games in Jamboard and whatnot, and everyone's looking at everybody else's cards, right? And you try to put a mask over it and whatnot. The beauty of playing Cards I.O. is that what I have in my hand, you don't see. And what you have in your hand, I don't see. Okay, so I'm going to deal, and we're playing Uno, and I'm going to take, so I don't remember who's with me. Would you take the 7 cards and bring it down into your hand? So grab the number 7 and drag it down into your hand.
Do I have to use a link that you sent?
It was in the chat.
Okay. The last one is bringing me to the Latin root game.
I am so sorry. Let me try that again. Yep, sorry.
It's okay.
So what I do is I'll take, my list of words that we've been working on. And for this, I always put in a list that we have. Oh, hold on. Let me do that over again. Okay. I always put in at least one list that we have not looked at, because I want my kids to see that when you take what you know, you can apply it to what you don't know. And they're soon reading words that they've never seen before and roots that I haven't taught, but I'm going to try to introduce that as we go. Okay, so I will hit the deal. Would you take this, pull the number 7, and I think I see 2 people with me. Is it just one person? And bring it down into your hand. So everyone see, did you see that if you're watching? She pulled those 7 cards into her hand. I can't see them. And I'm pulling my cards into my hand. She can't see them. Okay. And because this is harder, I have 2 decks that you can play on for Uno. And you can play by matching the same prefix, the same root, or the same suffix. Now, we were lucky and got a wild prefix. You can put any word with a prefix on there. So actually, bring your card here. Tell me, read your word to me.
Unscripted.
And what are you putting it on?
Inscribe.
Because it has the same
root.
Excellent job. Your word is unscripted. That means it is not written down. So an unscripted performance is when people do an ad lib. Good job. Now you can place it on there. Now I can play on the script and the ed or any prefix. Okay, unscript ed, and I'm looking at mine. Oh, guess what? I've got prescription. It has the same root, script, which means to write. A prescription is what the doctor writes before I can get my medicine. Your turn.
So you flip up a prefix, a root, and a suffix, and then you play on any one of those 3.
Well, I just have, these are words that we've looked at and studied, and some words that we haven't, and then I have a couple of wild. And then we're just playing on the words that are up in our discard pile.
Right, so I'm saying you have 3 discard piles, a prefix, a root, and a suffix.
No, I have 2 discard piles. They just happen to be any words that were turned over. And we're just matching to those words. Where are you placing that?
Under shun.
Good, same suffix. Read your word to me.
Exportation.
Good job. And it is port to carry, and it's the concept of carrying things out. Exportation. I'm going to play, actually, I'm going to do this one so you can see. So this is a wild, so I can play any prefix I like. I am playing informer. So an informer is the person who informs, or with the prefix in. Say the word and.
Formal.
Good. And what are you putting it on?
Form.
Good.
Under informer.
Good job. And we play Uno like this, and I can play this in a small group, but more than 4 students doesn't work well. We just deal out, more cards, and they take it into their hands. There's not a, I would just put more, I would just deal more, but it's a matter of who goes out first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we would play this, and for my kids who are getting better at knowing their parts of speech, I might say you can play the same prefix, root, suffix, or the same part of speech. and really get them to think, okay, exportation is a noun, it's the concept, but I might have reporter, it's a person, they're both nouns, just getting more connections, and we just keep playing. Formal, and of course it gets harder. Oh, here I have reporting. It goes on to exportation. I am reporting something. I am carrying information to you, carrying it back to you. What route would you like? You get to pick the route that I have to play now.
I'm not sure what the root is for this. Is it VER?
VER or VERT, VERS to means to turn. Do you have vertigo?
Okay, I
Yeah,
see
so
it. Yeah.
that your head's turning. Oh my goodness. When your head's
Okay.
turning, you get dizzy. That's okay. So you want VER. Ooh, and I don't have that one. Now, if you can see my cards, you might see that I've got a prefix that I could play, but because I like my students to win most of the time, not every time, but most of the time, I'm not going to play my prefix. I'm going to say, oh, okay, I have this one, transform. I'm placing that on formal. To transform is to, we are changing the shape across from one shape to another. And everyone knows transformers.
Transparent.
Oh,
Putting it on trans.
she's using the strategy. She knows that the VERT is not a common one. So she's holding that until I can't play, and then she's going to play it. I know that's what she's doing. Okay. And you're playing that on trans. Go for it. And I'm going to say, I can't play. Oh my goodness, I have to pick up. And anyway, we go and we play and we talk about the words. So my kids will, once they start reading the parts, they'll see that they can see the parts in other words that they've never seen, and are pretty soon identifying the parts and reading them in all sorts of crazy words. Okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to go quickly to another game. I have, and I'm just going to describe games to you. I do words with affixes. This is one of my lower levels. I take a generic game board and stick it into here as a background. And then I just make word cards, and we're going to read the words. You read it correctly, you roll the spinner. They actually have dice now, so we can put a dice in here and move the pieces along our board. So I've made a couple of generic boards, and I just pop an image in. And we play on a board. So this is a way, it's just like doing flashcards, but by making it into a game, somehow they like it better. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
if we were in this, we would read the word, roll the dice, and move our piece. Boom. And when I play this, I love this board. When I play this board, I play that you have to land exactly on it. That means that if you've been stuck, I can't tell you how many times I had a student land 3, back to start, land 3, back to start, land 3, back to start. I mean, just crazy things like that. Or they're out here and then I play that if someone lands on you, you move back 3. So then they're stuck back here, back to start. But if you're sitting here waiting here to roll the 1, it's crazy that the other person often has a chance to catch up. And when I play lose a turn, for the students, it means they have to read 2 cards. Because, if you lose a turn, then you're not doing anything. So it's not really helpful for your learning. But if you have to read 2 cards, so I use this board or variations of this board on a million games. Okay. This one is, again, I just put in different lists for different kids. And this one, I just changed the colors. Same concept. I've created the board, and it's in my, let me give you that right now. It's in my bubble up folder of, oh, here. It's not on this one. It's in my room backup. So I have my room backups, which I will show you very quickly how to. Did it open? It's probably open here somewhere because I'm clicking it and it's not. Oh, there we go. So these are the room backups, and these are the things we can use to make a room. And in about, I was hoping by about 10 minutes, we are all going to back up a room so you can see how to do it. But I have a image of the board, and then I have this. This is a document, and I'm going to give everybody this right now. So it is a forced copy document of in slides. I created this in slides. It's all editable. You can put in your own Bitmoji. You can put in your own things. And when you do an insert table in slides, which is how I built it, each one of these is a text box. So you could write anything you like in any of these squares. It's super easy to customize it. And then it's like, I can make a game board like this. I just stick an image and make spaces for like little ones that, you know, we're just going to go along the spaces until we reach the bone or whatever it is. I just put images in and make a game board. And then you go here and you would hit File, Download, either JPEG or PNG to get that image. And then you can upload that image to wherever you like. Okay. And I'm going to give everybody this right now. Copy shareable link. And it's in the chat. Oh, sorry. To everyone. Okay. So
Awesome.
you can make your own game boards. Where was I? So let me go back to my links. Oh shoot. I am so sorry.
Yeah, it
I
says
did
access
not.
denied.
I
You didn't
stuck
make-
it in there and I said, I am going to give this to everyone last night and I forgot to make the change. I'll do that in a very few minutes. Okay, I don't want to take the time right now. All right, so going back to my links. So I cannot give you my links because I need to have them for when I'm playing with it, but you can make your own. So I will, you know, you can ask for a room backup. All right, so I play game boards. I play Unos with wherever, like if I'm playing with short vowels, you know, play the same initial, same vowel, same final. And I would play Uno with my Latin words, which is what we just did. And I would play Go Fish. And to play Go Fish, it's the same cards that I did for my memory game. Go Fish, I would take my cards, you take your cards, and I'm going to ask you, do you have less as in homeless? That means without. And you would say, yes, I have less as in jobless. And then you'd give it to me and we just play Go Fish. But whenever I play this, I ask not only that they identify it, but that they give an example. Okay. And I rotate my games, whatever it is the student is working on. Sometimes we'll play Go Fish, sometimes we'll play memory, sometimes we'll play it a different way. Okay. And here we go. We're going to play 2 group games. We're going to play spoons. Now, someone had asked, can you make a spoons game? I thought, oh, let me think about it. And I think it's a little trickier. And I will give that edit. Sorry, very soon. Someone. Did someone enter? No, okay. So we're going to play spoons, and the object of spoons, it has to be with kids who've played it in person. And you're going to recognize these parts because it's the same cards. And we can have 5 people. So can I get 5 people in? Tell me if you're in, please. Say your name.
Chris.
Lori.
2. Anyone else want to play?
Diane.
3. We can play with the 4 of us then, if that's fine, if everyone else wants to watch. Okay. So are you familiar with the game of spoons where you pass the card from one person to the next and you're trying to make, and when you play it with regular cards, you're trying to get like the 4 9s or the 4 7s or whatever it is. And you keep picking cards and passing them. We're going to try to make a word. Okay, so I'm going to start by dealing. Okay, now I think there's only 4 of us. If you're here, put your cursor on one of the marbles. Okay, and I'm here. So we need to have 1 less marble than there is people. So if there's 4 of us, we should only have 3 marbles. No, keep your marble there. So those are our spoons. Okay, so these cards go back because we only have 4 of us. I'm going to be player 1. Who wants to be player 2?
I will.
Say your name.
Chris.
Okay, Chris is 2. Who's 3?
Diane.
Okay, and who's 4?
Lori.
Lori. I'm going to, everyone grab your number 4, put it down into your hand. If you grab the number, the whole stack goes.
What do you want us to do?
Take all the cards down into your hand. No one else can see your cards. If you grab the number 3, or the whole deck comes.
Got it.
Okay. Now I can only see what's in my hand. I can't see what's in your hand. I am trying to make a word. We are all trying to make a word. I'm going to be player 1. I'm the starting person. And Lori, you're number 4. Lori, are you 4?
Lori, you're on mute.
I am.
Okay. So I'm trying to make it, and I want to make a word that has a prefix, root, and suffix. And I want to make a word. So I'm going to pull a card. I now have 5. I'm going to take a card I don't want and give it to number 2. Number 2, you take that card. You're trying to see, and I'm going to keep pulling cards. And the card that you don't want goes to number 3. Number 3, the card you don't want goes to 4. Number 4, the card you don't want goes to trash. Okay, do you understand that? Have you played spoons before?
I have not. So we just keep going.
We just keep going. So number 2, so you go to trash. So I'm looking at my cards. I don't have a prefix yet, so I'm still, so number 2, you've got to take 1 card at a time. Who's number 2?
Wait, I don't want this one.
Okay, so it's supposed to be a quick paced game. So you pull the card, decide if you want that card or get rid of 1 card to the next person.
I lost it. I lost my game. Sorry. Find my game.
Okay, player number 3, go ahead and take player 2's cards. Yeah, and take it down into your hand.
Yeah.
And when you have a word, you grab a spoon. And everyone, if you see that someone has grabbed a spoon, you want to grab a spoon quickly. And the person who didn't get a spoon is out, or they have, 1 mark against them.
Where do we put our spoon?
Just that you grab it, and so there's none up here for someone to grab. So my word I have is, oops. core. Oh,
Conscription.
yes, here we go. There. So we're just going to make words. So if kids are used to playing spoons where they pick cards and do that, they understand that they're grabbing from one person, passing to another person, grabbing from one person, passing to another person. But we're going to make words. Okay.
It's cool. It's cute.
Okay. Moving on. I don't want to do this one right now. Okay. Suffix maybe. I would like to get into how to make the games and use the games.
Do you
Is that
do any of these in person or are you all virtual?
I am in person in school, and right now all of my tutoring is virtual, so I have no transportation time. So,
Emily, do you do any dice games?
absolutely. I do a lot of dice games with when I'm working with math and number games in math. All of these games, I would carry my game board with me and dice, and I would have dice. Dice is set up on my phone, and I would have dice, and then just show the roll of the dice to the students if it was virtual, until I've made it now so that they have dice here.
Okay.
But I love my virtual dice. So I have, the virtual dice. And then I have one where, that one was very small. You couldn't see it. There. I have one where you make a dice so you can put different words on the dice and roll that way. Or different letters or vowels or whatever on the dice and do that.
Oh.
What I don't do, and let me just stop for a second. What I don't do is I don't make the boards where I see a lot of people do it, where they put the words out on the board and you roll the dice and you move to that square and then you read that word. I don't do that because I don't feel like it's as efficient. So for me, I have the generic board and then I have my different card decks. And in person, I have dozens of these card decks that I would print my words out and I would carry that. And that might be like the only thing I would carry as I'd go to the different groups. But now I have them in my my word decks in the cards that are in like this game, the virtual games. So,
I apologize. Is there any way you could let me in on it? I have my phone and it's about to die, and I was trying to get in on my computer where I could see it bigger.
Are you? Oh, I am so sorry.
That's
There.
okay. My phone was about to die. Thank you.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Okay. If you would, good, thank you. So I don't do games like that because it's not as efficient for me. And it's a lot faster for me to just change out the word deck and just use the generic board. Does that answer the question? Okay. Would you like to see how to use this room backups to make your own game?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a consensus as to what one game everyone would like to recreate?
Anyone?
Okay.
I'm flexible.
Bingo?
Oh, okay. We can look at the Bingo Baker and we can look at that. Let me do that. So Bingo Baker, super, super, super easy. Let me pull up my Bingo Baker. So Bingo Baker, can you see this? So when you go to bingo cards, you can search for cards and you can say whatever it is you're using, Wonders, grade 3, whatever. and search for cards people are using. Or you can search for individual words, but let me show you how we're going to make a card. Okay, it's going to bingo card generator, give it a title. You can pick the size, you have different sizes. I don't like to put a free space because why would I get rid of one chance to read an extra word? Okay, so I just do this, I'm going to give it a title. And where it says paste in a list of words, I come up here to my one of these, and let's say we're going to work on, I'm just going to paste in this list of words, and let's say there are 20 tracked words. Copy that, come over here. Oops, sorry, wrong thing. Copy that here. That's only 20. I'm going to pull 5 more words, let's say. Or I might put 10 from this list, 10 from this list, and 5 from another list. But let's say it's all in there. I just hit generate, and it's there that quickly. I seriously will do this on the fly with students. And it's like, okay, we need to change things up. We're doing a bingo game right now. And here we go. And I'll put the words in. And then I just come up with the questions that reflect whatever it is the student's learning. If they're learning parts of speech, if they're learning just the affixes, to find the affixes, if they're learning to then interchange affixes, can you put a different prefix with it? Or can you put a different suffix with it? Whatnot. Not just reading the words. Or if it may just be pure vocabulary. Well, you know, what's the word that means the thing that the farmer uses to pull his plow? What's that machine called? Or however it is that we're going to do it. So that's how fast you can make a bingo game. And even without saving it, so here, even without saving it, you can save this link here in a file. Sorry, when I mean without saving it, even if you're not signed into an account, okay, you can save this link, put it in a doc, you can always get back here. Okay, for free. Okay, for flippity, let me show you the flippity. Get rid of that. Okay, so this is their site. And let's say we're going to make a matching game. We go to here to instructions. The quick and easy thing is just type your list of words in here. Now, what I have was too many. I would not do that many. So let's say I'm only going to do this many. Get rid of those. And boom, we now have a memory game that fast. Okay, this is why anything I'm working on, I put in a list, because I can take that list and stick it anywhere. That's how quickly you can make a memory game in Flippity. You can do the other things. Oh, sorry. And then you can save that link also in your document that says Flippity memory game using whatever. And you can always get back to it. I believe you can always get back to it. Let me just see. This. Okay. The other way to do Flippity is that's their quick and easy where you just pop in the list, and that's so fast. The other thing you can do is you can do Google Sheets, and you would follow the instructions here. You would download this template. And everything's running a little slower because I'm running the Zoom and recording. And here you would change out this words. You can put audio in, you can put images in, you can put whatever else you want in to go with it. And so you have more options if you do it this way. Then you file. Where's the publish? Maybe because I haven't changed anything. It's not giving me the publish, but you would go to publish and then get the link here and then play this link. But honestly, for the most part, if you just, doing that quick shove the words in that list, it works.
I was thinking how you copied from the Google Sheets, how you just did that real quick copy.
Oh, Control C. I just
So
highlight it.
The mouse before you do it.
Sorry?
Where you highlight?
Yes.
And then
just like you would in a document, but you highlight the whole thing, Control C for copy, Control V to put it into the other list.
Okay.
It works across platforms. All right. Go to their main site. So this is Playing Cards IO. Looks like this. I'm signed in. Here, you can see up here. They have all these games already made. I don't know most of these games. I mean, I know backgammon, canasta, chess, checkers, whatever, cribbage. They have all these games already made that you can play as just a game with students. But I want to make my own game. If you're using a game file, and I'm actually going to give you a game file right now, and you are going to do this on yours at the same time, you would go to import a game file. So let me pull up the game file of, let's do our Latin words Uno, or let's do the one with the board game. So you can see this. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to give all of you a shareable link in the chat. If you would go to playingcards.io, and I'm going to do the same thing on my side. And let me know if you're following along, if you're okay with that. Yes?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so if you would click on that link, that should download directly to your computer. I'm going to show it over here. I'm going to download this link here, and it is downloading it. You can see where it has downloaded to my computer, and it has all these numbers that mean nothing to me, but it has downloaded. Okay. Once that's on your computer, go to Playing Cards IO. Go to where it says scroll down to where it says import a game file. Click that. And it just says drop the PCIO file here. So I'm going to take my downloaded file, drag it, drop it right there, or you can hit browse and go to your downloads and get it. Is everyone following? Would anyone else like to share your screen so we can see?
I can share, and I'm on Safari.
So there you have a copy.
Okay.
And it looks just like what I had.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say we want to change out the words. So go ahead and hit the briefcase, the edit table. Okay, click on where it says 80. That's the number, that's the cards that we have. Do you see the number 80? Click on that and let us add and remove. Okay, so those are the words that are in there.
Mm-hmm.
You can take out words. You can see the trash can if you want to take out a word. You can take out words. You can go to scroll down to the bottom using the scrolling tool to the right, and you can add new cards. And when you add a card, you have to tell it how many cards you want. That is the very easy way to just put in cards.
Wow. Okay. Awesome.
Okay. And when you do that, let's go up to Janice. Are you still with us?
I am.
Would you actually share and show how you change the color of individual cards?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Give me a second to find the game to show you that on.
You want to do it on the one we just put in so everyone could follow?
Okay. Okay, so I need to screen share.
Yep.
Okay, so I went back into edit mode.
Mhm.
And I'm going to the 80 and I'm going to do change deck template. And then I could change the color of the card itself by going here and picking another color.
Yes.
Or I can
Yeah,
change.
excuse me, everyone, do you see that right now it says all the same on the left side where it says all the same? So what that adjustment affected every card.
Right.
Okay.
I can change the color of the text by clicking on this text, and then she has it as a label. That's what she's calling this text. And then I would go and change the text to something else. But to make the Uno cards, or however you want to, whatever you want to say, you would need to go to different per card. And I don't want an image actually, so I'm going to add a text, different per card. And I'm going to call this color. And let's stick it down here. And I'm going to center it. And then I can adjust the size if I want to. I can make it bigger or smaller. And then I'm going to go to the card deck. And now you see there's image because I messed up. But here is color. So I'm going to type blue for this one. And this one's going to be red. No, that's not right. I am not doing this right. Sorry. Let's type what suffixes, although that doesn't really apply to this game. And you kind of threw me off here.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, I can do this. All right, I'm going back here. So what I want this to say is suffixes. And then I'm going to pick a color for suffixes, and it's going to be red. And then I'm going to open up another text that says different per card, and I'm going to stick it pretty much right on top of that one. And it doesn't have to be exactly, but close to the same place. And this one's going to be what, prefixes? And so we'll go and make prefixes be maybe blue. And you can do that as many times as you want to, and then just pack them all on top of each other. Then when you go up to cards, if I want this one to be ED, and this one's going to be ER because that's a suffix. Here's one for prefix. I might want that one to say un. And then when the cards come up, we'd have to go through these to find those ones that I just did. But do I have it down there? There's one. See how that says suffix ED on it? That one said un.
Mm.
So I would just have to do that for all the cards though.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions about that?
Can you change the background color of groups of cards?
It's a lot more complicated to change the background color.
Okay.
I don't normally do that.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that.
Okay. No, I mean, that's a great workaround what you just showed. Thank you.
I can try that. So let's see. So it would have to be, let's get to the background. So, okay, different per card. And so, but what am I going to do here? See, I need to enter something. I can enter a picture, but I don't know how to enter a color there.
You can, colors can be pictures, but it's just seemed like too much work, more work than I would want to do. I mean, that's how they have the colors, or that's how they have the images for every card in a regular card deck. Each one is an image. And I have put decks where I have images for each card.
Mm-hmm.
And I know colors can be images, but it's a lot more work than I'm willing to do.
When I make an Uno game, I do the color thing one time, And then the next time I want different words, I change the words. I only mess with changing the color thing, you know, and setting up, like I might do a number 1 that's blue and a number 3, or you could do it like we did with the suffixes, but I only do that part one time. And then I go back and change the words on it, if that makes sense. So it's still work. You're not entering a whole list from a Google Sheets, but that's why I don't use Google Sheets very often, I guess.
Okay. Okay, so it is possible. Thank you, Janice.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing I want to mention that we've not said is that in Playing Cards IO, the room that you're using, let me go on. The room that you're using only exists for 30 days. And let me show you what it looks like. So you can see this is a list of the games I've got going right now. And this one has 21 days left, 21 days left. And the ones that we've done today have 30 days left. If you do not use a game for 30 days, it disappears. You would have to then make it again from your room backups. So that's why I keep all of my room backups in one easy to access place. And I can go in there and make a game as quickly as you just did by taking the backup and putting it into a game. I used to go in once a month and refresh everything. I don't do that anymore. I just have my list of backups and I make the game again. And rather than look through this to find the game, which works, I can look through this. I usually go to my, this is the backups, but I go to my Bubble Up where it's easier for me to see what it is that I want and to click on it.
You can also do Control F and search for it on the Playing Cards IO site. Control F and then type in what you're looking for.
Okay. I've never done that. Thank you, Janice. So from here you do a Control
F on my computer.
Lovely. Short vowel. There we go.
Right, hit the up or down arrow and you'll go, you know, find all of the ones that say short on it.
Nice. Thank you. I did not realize that. So what you don't use for 30 days disappears. And I keep my links and just go in for my links, and I keep my backups and just make the game again if it's disappeared. Because some of my upper math games, I don't play that often, but when I want it, I just pop it in and I've got it fresh for that day and then it disappears.
Would it be something that you could create like a file in Google Chrome?
Would what be a file I could create? Oh,
like,
yes, a Word doc. I've done it where I've had Word docs
and
I would say, I'd list each of my games and then I would list, here's the link and here's the backup. And in Google Chrome, you can.
You know how you can click that star? The star.
Oh, okay.
And then you can file it in Google
Yes.
Chrome. Is
Yes.
that something that you could do?
Yes, you can do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
You can do that. I've also done a file upload and take my room backups and I've put it in as files in Google Chrome. But however you want to, you can save them and you can get back to them. Just save it somewhere that you can find it, whether you do it as a bookmark or as a upload to your drive, or whether you do it in Bubble Up or Wakelet or any other number of places that you can store things. Okay. I want to show you is anyone interested in seeing this, how to upload a CSV or not?
What is that?
To upload the list from my.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So let's say I've got this list. I don't even know where I am. Okay, my tracked words. Okay. In order to use this, when I have my list, I put my first thing my first line as what the root is. But to make a CSV, your first line has to be either, like they had text 1 and their old ones used to say label. The old ones that they modified from. So I have mine, a lot of mine set up to say label, but I think they have it right now set up as text 1. So whatever it is that's telling them all of these words go into the spot that say text 1, that's the word that has to be at the top here. So I've got this list here. The first row in this list has to be either text 1, and we'll go with that since that's what they're using now. And then we come up here to File, Download, and it says Downloads, comma separated value, CSV. And what it's doing is it's downloading that list without any formatting. It just has commas between the various items in the list. Okay. Now I'm going to come up here and the game that we just did here, this is the one we just uploaded. I'm going to come up here to the edit table, go to my card deck. I'm going to edit the, I'm going to go to the add and remove and come down here, remove everything. And it says, really? And I say, yeah, okay, everything's gone. And now I say import CSV file. I'm going to say that's the one I want. And you can see what the CSV looks like. It's just the list of the words. Boom, there. Oh, look at this. This one says option, label. I should have used label. So I'm going to adjust this instead of saying label. Sorry. Text 1. Okay. So this word has to match the word in the first row of your Google Sheet. And again, center it, change the font, change the size. And this is different per card. You're looking for the word in the column text 1. Now those words are here that quickly. So this was based off of one of their old ones that used labels. I noticed their new ones say text 1, but the word just has to match. And that quickly I can change out with my generic board, change out the word list to put new words to play a game.
Okay.
Okay. And did you notice I don't have, it only has that 19 words. It doesn't have the 80 words. So I don't have a bunch of blank cards. It knows it makes as many words as many cards as the words that you put in there. Okay. And just to demonstrate again, if I go here and I say, oh, I don't want that list. I want this list of POS words. I'm going to put text 1 in here. And I can change it back for my own reference later. And I'm going to File, Download, comma separated value. It's now downloaded. I'm going to go back into this game, edit my table, edit my card deck, add, remove. Get rid of everything. Remove everything. Import a CSV file. There's the new one. Done. I have a new game.
Okay.
So when I say I don't like to spend a lot of time making the games, I just, want to be able to use it. That's how fast I want to be able to do it. So once I've set up a generic game, I can change it up for every lesson if I wanted to. Does that make sense to anybody? That's the beauty of using the CSV, is to change out the words that quickly. Can anyone talk to me?
I'm here.
Okay.
It's fascinating.
Okay. Is that
I didn't know you
doable?
couldn't see me. Yes, very.
Okay. So what I do is anything I'm working on, I make a list. I always keep lists in Google Sheets because I might stick it into a bingo game. I might stick it into a memory game in Flippity, or I might stick it into here. And I just take that list. Only thing is when you come to put it into playing cards IO, the top word has to be the word that this game is looking for. In this case, it was, you know, whether it was label or text one, so long as, and I'll show it again. This template here, this part here, it's looking for, when it says different per card, it's looking for text one. So the top word that you, oh, I could have had the top word be POSPON and it would have found that, but whatever the top word is, that's the word that has to be here. And then everything else underneath that will just populate. Okay. The thing that I find very frustrating is that it's hard to get the words where you want it. I find it easier to make the card wider, and then I can see, because sometimes it's like, you know, it gets cut off. So I make the cards wider if I want to read the cards. For the, when the cards are more vertical, I start out with the cards wider so I can see that, yes, I've stretched this as far left and right as I want. And then I would go and change the, under general, change the width of the card. Janice, do you have any other tips on that?
If you scroll down, there are more changes on that same general tab. There are more options, which I sometimes use.
Okay, so in here, you can change the way it's positioned. If you have the cards in your hand, you can change how much it overlaps. For my students, if I have cards in their hand, I almost always say no overlap at all. So can you see here at the very bottom there how you can overlap the cards or not overlap it? When you pull the cards from your hand, do you want it to flip down again, or just pull it out with the word being shown? But that's for games that have a hand. And then you can add recalls up here. Sorry. Up here, there are options here. You can have a recall button that says gather all the cards back. You can duplicate decks. You can add deal when you want to deal. So you come down here and you give an automation, and you can say, I want to deal the cards out, and you can tell it, take the cards from this stack and deal it to these stacks. And for here, I might say, okay, I don't want that old spinner anymore. They now have a dice. I'm going to put a dice in here. Do you see the dice? I think that dice is too small. I can edit the dice and say, that is just way too small. So I'm going to make it 80, but it doesn't let me go back to 0. So I have to type the 80 in and get rid of the other one. Okay, done. And now I have a dice. You can see in that dice is bigger, but you position it in the edit mode. Say, okay, I want my dice down here. I want to get rid of this thing, remove it. I want to position my dice there. So the editing, you can edit things however you like.
Can you have more than one dice?
Yes, you can have any number of dices. Die. You can have
Die.
any number
Yeah,
of die. Thank you.
Can you have more than a 6 face die? Do you know?
You can change the faces if you go to faces up there, but I haven't experimented with that yet.
So
yeah, I'm
okay,
just
so
thinking in terms of like a math game. You
Yeah,
know, and if you wanted to have a 12-sided dice or something like that.
Right. Right.
I think you would have to create an image for that first.
Okay.
Like it says image right there. You would have to create the image with the however many dots you wanted on it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I've done that in Google Slides. So I'll make a slide that's a square shape, put my dots in, and then download those images, and they look just fine.
Okay.
And then you just import the image. So there's all sorts of things you can do with this. It's very customizable. the frustrating thing is with the cards is being able to see the words and see that you have it positioned well here. You know, I'd love to be able to say, make the font as big as the card, but if the word is too big, decrease the font size. I can't do that. But I just have to go through and, oh my goodness, if I can't read certain words, I have to make the font size smaller. And if I want to add an image, you add things in order. So if you add an image, now if I say, oh, let's say I didn't want that. If I accidentally make it as add an image, that word now has that image on top of everything else. And that doesn't work. So it places it in order. So sometimes you have to delete it and then put it back. So I try to get it set up and then I just change out my words, and I can do that very quickly. So here I'm going to get rid of this image. Okay, so one image goes on top of the other. So if you're doing a color, that has to go on the bottom, the words on top. And sometimes when you think, oh, I'm clicking that image, sometimes you're not. Sometimes it's hard to get the image separated from the word. But in any case, those little frustrations, they're just little frustrations.
And this is free playing cards IO? This is incredible.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't get over this.
I know. I can see so much use. I have math games. I have all sorts of games in here. And it's free. But that's what I'm saying is that I don't know. What if they start charging next month? Because I have no control. Or what if they start putting ads?
Of course. Yeah.
So I don't have any control. But for right now, I find it very useful.
Mm.
Okay.
Playing card IO game that my kids that I've just recently started is Rummy, where they have to get a set of 3 and a set of 4 in order to win. Mm-hmm. So you could do it with anything. It could be vowel teams. It could be just plain vowels if they're, on CVC level. It could be certain suffixes.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to show how you set up the card holders to hold that?
Okay.
Let me stop share.
So I'm going to go find one that I have because that's just easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So it's very customizable. It's just as you're starting to fiddle around with it, it can be a little frustrating if your words suddenly get cut off. It's like, oh, I thought I had it so I could see the whole word, and now I can't see the whole word. And you just have to go in and fix it. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. Get back to Zoom. Okay, so this is a Rummy game. And we deal, and then they take their cards down. And you see, we have the basic word, but we also have the suffixes at the bottom. So these are the choices. These are the suffixes that are in this game. To win, they have to have a set of 3, meaning 3 ik and 3 eyes or whatever. 4 of 1 and 3 of 1 to win. And so you either draw from here or you draw from the discard pile. And every turn you discard one. Draw, discard. And so you can organize your cards down here. Well, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I would put those 2 together and these 2 together, just kind of keeping up with what I have. But that's how we do it. This can be flipped over. That's my directions. Not that the kids read it. Did you do that
as a card?
That is a card.
Okay.
That's what the card looks like. So those are individual text lines. And then on the back is that. Mm-hmm. So it actually wasn't that hard to do it. Have any questions about it? So it goes quick. And we play multiple rounds because there's only these, these choices. I could do more choices, but this goes really quick. And sometimes my student will, and like Emily, I try to let them win most of the time. But sometimes they'll win on just the first or second time because they got good cards, and other times it will take a few times. But that's okay because, like my student, she'll just keep a tally mark on her little dry erase board on her desk of who's winning each one. And I could put a counter up here, but I haven't done it. But it would be easy to do that too. So
actually, would you mind if we demonstrate that right now?
Sure.
So go to that and go to the widgets and then down to the counter. So the counter.
There's the counter.
And put 1 by player 1 and 1 by player 2. There we go. Do you see how fast that is? So those things can be very fast. It's just when the cards get messed up, then it can
And then
take
in
a
the
little
game,
while.
you just, keep track of points. And if your student has gone crazy and then gazillion points and you don't want to take the time to do this, just go in edit mode and delete it and put another one. I have students that when we play one of these games at the very end and then I close the Zoom session and they still have it up, they will do things like that to make them win. And they'll give me, way negative. So the next time I come on the game, it's some huge number over here and so I just delete those 2 things, not the whole game, and put new ones up. Anyway.
And that's where I say for those students of mine, I make a copy of the game room.
Yes.
Delete it after, so it's
Yes.
gone.
That
Okay.
works too.
Okay. Any other questions we have here? Oh, I did want to show. So this part here, do you see I can edit the board? I can edit the board. I can just pop in another image. So anywhere, if you've taken a picture, you can take a picture of a Candyland if you want, or whatever image you like, or if, I make my game boards in Google Slides, download it, and then just stick the image in and I've got a new board. And if I want a very quick game, I might put in a board that had just very few pieces to get to the finish. Okay, so all of that is editable, and I use it a lot. So for me, the games not only reinforce, but just as a low stress way of becoming more familiar with words. So I will often stick in words that we've not covered. And so they can see that as they have been reading these prefixes and suffixes and other words, they're able to read it in unfamiliar words. Okay. Any questions? How are we feeling here?
Well, Emily, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Can you remind me? I remember you were saying that those playing cards IO games disappear after a month. How did you say you keep track of them? Are they all in a Google slide spreadsheet?
I have kept them in a Google Doc.
Okay.
I have kept them in bookmarks. I am now keeping them in Bubble Up just because I'm using that to curate most of my resources.
Excellent.
Now.
And all you need is the link?
All you need is link. Okay, so the link is only good for 30 days. And if you haven't used the game in 30 days, you either go and open it up the game and then close it again once a month, or you do the backup, use the backup again.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you.
You have to export it to use the backup. You can't just save that link somewhere else because it will disappear, like she said, in 30 days.
Okay, thank you for that.
Did you show them that, Emily? How to do the export? You may have.
So in here, okay, room options, where you can give it a name. You can export to file. So if you're taking one of my games, you just pop it into the import. If you've made your own, you export it and save it somewhere in case you have to use it again.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
If you want to copy the room, it's right there. Okay, so I would change this to whatever my current, what did I put in there last? Port? I don't remember what I put in there,
I think so.
but change the name. Oh, it was POS words. Okay. POS. Okay. So now if I go to my list, it is here as POS words. Okay. But all of these I've played, the concept of the games I've played in person, just printing out the game board using tokens and pieces and dice and whatnot. And now I play them virtually here. Let me show you, I'll just show you a quick one. Here, these are images. So I built this image in a Google slide if you're doing math, because someone talked about math. And I used 10 frames and built it in Google Slides, downloaded, and then I just inserted the images to be my card. Sorry. And I have other ones with other images. So you can do all sorts of things here. This one. So I have various images and we play Some Indifference War for those kids. And I have I don't know if you're familiar, if you do math, if you're familiar with Prime Climb. I just took a picture of the game board that I own and stuck it in.
Oh my goodness, that is awesome.
Okay, so you can do any of that here. I don't want to share that, of course, because that is a copyrighted image, but you know what I'm saying is that whatever it is, you can stick it in there. Anyway, so all of that is possible. But the idea is to play low stress, high interest, get the kids involved. Are there any other questions? If you have questions, shoot me a line and I'll try to answer it. Like I said, I try to do things quickly. I don't like to spend a lot of time making the prettiest game and, you know, making everything where each game is entirely different. I like to make my games as generic and interchangeable as possible so that I can, on the spot, change it for a different student or a different need.
Emily, do you realize you could charge a lot of money for these workshops? I'm just putting, I mean, I'm glad you didn't, but like, I mean, just so this has been so helpful. You don't even know.
So glad. I'm so glad.
This is such a gift. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
And anyone, if you want any of my backups, send me an email. And if you send me an email, I'm going to tell you right now, I will send you a link and say, please also look at my TPT store. But send me an email, tell me what you want. I will give you a backup of one of my games of what we've played. If you want just the whole lot of them, send me something and I will be glad to do that too. Okay.
Thank you, Emily. This was fantastic.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Really amazing.
Thanks.
Thanks for your time.
Absolutely. Everyone have a wonderful time and happy gaming.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks again, Emily.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Have a great day, everyone.